What's still going on outside? Constant harassment day and night. Being followed and harassed. Okay. Um, Thursday, May 26th, I went to Almost Daycare to get rechecked. And I had a UTI before, and I still haven't pain in my lower area. Well, I got raped and tortured by a carpet stalker and a fat white man between July and September 19 when I tried to get that Asian lady help that said her husband died. So I have to take spasm medicine at times because I'm being punched repeatedly while the other guy's smothering me. It causes pain still. And that's all it was. The infection was gone, and I was in there, and I told the nurse about it. And I said his sick friends, he has them make fun of me for it. She said, like, there's a lot of evil people in this world. And I sat alone in my room and started playing the tapes of the case. And I go to leave, and there's some security guards in there, and they're talking. We're not allowed to say anything to her. And we stand outside the room listening to those tapes. And we called up there. Those police that were following around were supposed to protect her. And what on earth? They were the ones hurting her. We called up there, and they said the other group wasn't going to do anything about it. And she told another group, and they demanded their surveillance. It's illegal for them not to do anything about this. It's contributing to the crimes. They can go to jail as an accessory. The legal surveillance before automatically they lose their badge. It's a legal search and seizure per Department of Justice. Everybody knows it's photoshopped and drugged in them different versions. I had May 26th by noon. I had went to go into Mentors. I drove by Bubba's so that I could see if they had a camera outside where those guys screamed at them that they found the tape of those boys admitting it was a shower scene in the other room. Well, I had already told them at an Oakland apartment December 9, 21, 4 p.m. that all the tapes before were them, not me. It's just a bunch of men doing crimes. And the guy at the Stark County Hunger Task Force distributing food, white man, bald with dark eyes, actually was a security guard during the case. He said they always knew the tapes before were them, not me. And so they never said a word. And they both talked to police and investigators. So while going KOC in Belden, some idiot, I was going to sit out in my car so they couldn't harass me. And I thought, I just want to sit at a table like a human being. I almost died to save my family. I lived through a concentration camp, keeping them out, and those people abused me like hell. Some idiot man came in and said that attorney had it set up so it looked like she was weird with herself. And some idiot man told on them that they put the shower scene in the other room, now they can't use it. I thought, well, there's been more than one man that told on you. I told on you and that security guard. Yeah. And those men at Bubba's May 12, 22, where my car's legally bugged from the protective light case, and these idiots sold it to regular people. I went to go in Mentors that day at noon, and they went over to Bubba's restaurant. There's a big old camera outside. We found the tape of those boys admitting it was a shower scene in the other room. And we told them none of this is funny, and they're screaming across the parking lot. Well, they sold a login to the car, so everybody with it heard it. It was just like February 2nd, 22, where that kid admitted he drugged me and told me to say stuff. People ran in Save-A-Lot and out of their houses. It's a fiasco down here. Absolute fiasco. So, but yeah, it's so bad. I went into Mentors yesterday, which would be the 27th. Some idiot women come in. We found out their grandkids won't get a dime out of this. Well, no, you can't have grandma stalked. You can't have her photoshopped and drugged up and extort money. It's a terrorist group. Because who hacks into police login and sells them? Terrorists. Who drugs people up? Terrorist mobs and occults. Who cuts people up? Same. Who rapes them and publicly displays it? Same. That's not the law. No, it's not. And I've never been questioned with Miranda rights, never prosecuted, and never found guilty. There's nothing against me. It's the funniest thing when they tell people I have charges against me. I've never been questioned. I've never been prosecuted. Never stood in front of a judge for and placed charges. And I've never found them guilty. They broke in and they stabbed me with needles and apparently stalked me before I called the FBI and was photoshopping me. This is their permanent plan to do away with me. It's stupid. But they warned me in Walmart, January 19. Remember the truth, they'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything they have in life. The agents are so corrupt, they'll try to steal a settlement, but they're dirty cops. Even any officer says they're part of illegal surveillance per Department of Justice, they lose their badge instantly. It's a legal search and seizure. You get asked to resign, fired, or up to 5 years. Oh, they were in Mentors yesterday on the 27th. The boys drugged her because they wanted the truth. No, they drugged me to frame me, bitch. You can't drug people. I was in Walmart. And people went to follow me in, and some guy and his kid right behind me. Tape and audio. Kid says, should I call her a bad name? He's like, no, she's not. Don't do that. And them turning where the medicine aisles are. Some women's like, they really cut her up. We told the police they needed to do something about this. Well, I worked at my other client out of town last night. I got up this morning. Some guy's like, I found out what's going on. I called the FBI. Told them they better do something about this. Hello? Everybody should be calling them. This is public knowledge in this area. It's a fiasco. They have fake badges on them in hospital, frame them for the chip. I'll tell you what, if you pull Mercy Medical CT scan, you can see that cut the wires are cracked. And then there's a lead down my neck into a satchel, and you can see the satchel in my chest. Some idiot made a comment about a bomb. I don't know what it is. I shouldn't have a satchel with a lead in my chest, and you can see it. Those women were talking in Walmart yesterday. Those people really cut her up. It's not funny. No, none of this is funny. I went up today to Ravenna. With being an informant, they had set it up for my car to be bugged for the police to hear me if I need them. Okay? So the sheriffs are driving by, and he's got his window down, and my voice is echoing from his car. And other people are driving by, and I'm giving my testimony, so da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you can hear it. Bikers pull and said, the police driving by. I said, none of this is funny. No, I reported it over a year ago. I can't get anybody to do their job. There is a real Protect a Life case we'll set up September 27th, 18, and a cop did talk to Dave within a few days and ask him about those people threatening me. That's a requirement. You have to give a statement. You have to agree to protect you. Yet I had to have a witness, and then the cop had to talk to Dave. He didn't know that guy went to Paymer the night before. He had just arrested him. See what I mean? And then drugged me up so I couldn't remember to tell. Well, that's bitch. That's real bitch. They were that far advanced. They had no right in my home. I find out exactly who did it, I could sue them. And like Officer Reinhardt said in Louisville, with there being a judge in that town, in that county, they couldn't even work a case against me. They would have had to went to the FBI, and they would have knocked on my door. They didn't mention anything. And neither did the cops in uniform. It's hi, sweetie. Or the prosecutor's office when I reported Dave, or the sheriff's. It's just the undercover police and retired Judge Pete and some terrorists to cut me up, rape me, and selling off a real police log and making money off this. Someone needs to come down and arrest their dumbasses. They got fake FBI badges, framed FBI. You want proof? Go to Altman Hospital, March 13, 21. Emergency room, 2:53 p.m. They go in and frame the FBI for the chip, tape and audio in the emergency room, flash fake badges, and get them back and tell Dr. Alan Martinez. There's a real case, September 27th, 18. Will turned it over to the police for protected life custody for an informant. With legal surveillance, that's the only time you can be in somebody's house. Otherwise, it's a legal search and seizure. And it literally can cost them their freedom of up to 5 years in prison just for mentioning they were part of it. Let alone photoshopping me up and drugging me. The tapes are so altered. January this year, Circle K gas station, Fulton Road by 6th Street. My one client wouldn't wake up and I needed to go to the bathroom. So between 7 and 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm in there. She could tape an audio in that little gas station. Comes in. We made a big mistake being in her home. I can verify in my group she's never said she did anything wrong before. And her toxic water level was 2nd. She's like, she barely touched herself when she wiped it out. I don't care. Wiped off that water. I don't care about that. And she's like, those people even raped her. Well, Nurse at Mercy Medical, March 13, 21, says I was treated at Altman Hospital because that weird Eric was stalking me. Called him up and lied to him. Okay? So they started calling me bad names and I left. And I went over to Mercy Medical, and the nurse came in and said, well, the only thing they had you on was adjusting yourself. The guy's like, that's sick. She said, no, it's funny. She just simply wiped off water with clothes on. Just simple action straight down. Okay? She didn't say weird. She didn't say touching. She didn't say exposing touching. She didn't say anything bad. Bright Aid in town, April 1st to May 10th. You didn't expose yourself. You're good. I'm like, what on earth? Mark's Cleveland Avenue, March 1st to the 15th. People of last year are following me around. We know what they could try to say, and that would never work. And they're laughing at it. Well, 1260 Fairlawn's part of this, illegal surveillance. And she's out there yelling out lies and stuff. Some guy showed up in a truck. We'd have to shut down the nation for that. Simply wipe something up. Okay? Well, March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, about 8:30, 10:30 at night, and pull the car tapes. They're going to put 2 clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. And then they start saying, you're weird. You exposed yourself, you're weird. It made my stomach bleed. I almost died to save my family. Lived through a concentration camp trying to keep them out. Okay? And then the only time I touch myself like that is showering, washing. I'll go outside. She figured out what they did. Well, May 12th, 22, Bubba's Restaurant at noon. Black SUV, I taped it before, following me in a bunch of silver cars. They're outside on the patio, tape and audio, yelling it out. We found the tape of those boys admitting it was a shower scene in the other room. None of this is funny. Okay. My car tapes if I'm in it or not. Well, Ed, December 9, 21, Oakland apartment, maintenance man, had made fun of me for the toxic water and drug confessions, and I've never been questioned. I had bursts. Okay. Someone called him December 9, 21, 4 o'clock. All the tapes before were them, not her. Wow, what's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can. December 9, 21, Starr County Hunger Task Force by 1 o'clock. One of my security guards was distributing food. In the back, white man bald with dark eyes came out and said, it makes my stomach turn seeing her in a place like this. We always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word. Well, before Christmas, there was an African American man that works with Ed. Well, those people from Ravenna are down here screaming stuff down in that parking lot from the road. He comes up and he's like, I found out what's going on. She's scared to death of those people, and I'm literally shaking my car. They've raped me. They abducted me. They chipped me. They stabbed me with needles. They've publicly humiliated me. Scared of them? Oh my God. Okay? I'm shaking in the car. He's like, I know. I already told him the tapes before were them, not her, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes. And they already talked to the guy at the Hunger Task Force, and he said the same thing. Okay? There was an African American lady in November in Save a Lot lying to people I was weird with myself. And then she showed up December 2nd or 3rd. I can get you the time and date at Save a Lot. We found out they made all that up. Nobody better say a word. Okay? March 24th, 22, 1:30, the car got him. 2 apartment buildings for me. There's the red building. Fat white man, dark haired woman screaming out lies. Part of it. Some old white guys out there. You framed her before? Yeah, I framed her before. Shame on you. I know. I wish I wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. Yeah, I feel bad about everything. Amy's my neighbor. She's like, I thought my husband was not. I can hear that clear in my apartment. The apartment building before mine second, the defense that read out Dave for roofing me and then defends me on tape. That's where it's priceless. Came out and called him a bastard. I was clear out of town because they sold the login to so many people. But that other client's out of town. The neighbor said, we all heard that bastard admit to framing you. I've been in several places and they have mentioned it. People mention the case. Sometimes they know more than I do about different situations and they'll say stuff to me. It's horrible. Over 50 people have said they've seen the rape and torture. Yesterday in Walmart, those women that were by the medicine aisle, those people really did cut her up. None of this is funny. We told the police they better take care of this. Somebody needs to. There's a real state investigation. Officers in uniform called it carrying around the house. One officer said, what's that? One of us have to watch her or listen to her every day. Somebody needs to fix this. You can't just sit back and let crimes happen to a victim, and it's public knowledge, and people are like, where's the FBI? Where's the police? And they're horrified. Where are they? It's a good question. I about died when they said that I had charges. I started giggling. And it's like, they said they had fake paperwork to make it look official. That's exactly what it is. I've never been questioned in management. Never subpoenaed to the prosecutor's office with an attorney. Never subpoenaed to in front of the judge with an attorney and the prosecutor to file charges. Never subpoenaed to go to court. They broke in and jabbed me with needles and apparently stalked me and photoshopped a shower scene. They don't get money for that, and I don't get in trouble. I told Officer Reinhardt Louisville about it. He thought it was funny. It's not funny. It's like, he's like, don't worry about it. He's like, not one thing. Before Will took your statement and he agreed to protect you, there's nothing else. Per Department of Justice, who do you report anybody's surveillance in your home? Police Department, FBI, ICE, and Department of Justice. Fourth Amendment right to privacy makes it a legal search and seizure. Further into the law, police and agencies can only be in a home under threat of life. Failure to notify before initiating and speaking to the person in the home is abuse and misconduct, and failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. And then it goes into the right of privacy, illegal search and seizure. Like Officer Reinhardt said, until Will agreed to protect you and took your statement, nobody could be in your home. It's illegal to be in somebody's home, and it's illegal to look or listen. I do get pain from the chip. It's right up here. I about died when I'm in that office at the FBI and they're like, why do you think you're having a chip? I didn't even answer them. I thought, you took responsibility at Albany Hospital. I didn't even answer it. It wasn't them. It was a terrorist group chipping me. I was so afraid of the FBI. November 29th, I had that paperwork and I was going to walk in the building. And I looked at it and I couldn't move out of my car because they said it was FBI doing it to me. And I went to mail it at the post office in Belton. Some lady leans over and said, we all know after what you lived through, you couldn't walk in that building. Tape and I. Well, in February, I got enough courage to go in. And where they have you fill out paper while you're there, I just put September 27th, 18, almost started protective light case, something like that. They came out and talked to me. And when they looked at me and said, why would you think you have a chip? I just looked at them. They didn't pull those the case. I said, well, I got some of the tapes from the case where they had to have it too, and the police, all the police have it. The church has taken up money to hire a man to come and David and sit in the house. He told us he didn't know anything about it. They didn't pull the case. And then I told him about the officer reading, and they said, we'll be addressing this with them. Somebody needs to. Very much. Since when can cops rape somebody and put it on the internet and sell it? Since when can they sell a protective light case? Since when, they can have federal badgers and frame the FBI for crimes? They did in Altman Hospital March 13, 21, 2:53 p.m. Now, I had told people I didn't know how to explain well. So I told everybody I prayed and left all my problems at God's feet and prayed God's will over everything. Give my problems to Will. Okay? I didn't know how to explain them. And so they're walking around Walmart. The case is called Karen's Will from the agency. And I thought they were being sweet because I called Will a God. It's the bad guys. So they come in. We're here for Karen's Will. The agency chipped her. The nurse points right at me. Is that why she's here? Okay? They're flashing badges. Old woman got in my face. The agency wanted the truth out of you. That's why they chipped you. Be something if that was Judge Pete's wife, and they paid off some 30-year surgeon to cut me up. Put the bitch in jail. I go in the back. I tell Dr. Alan Atinas, I may have a chip. And he goes to leave, and there's a man out there. Some damn bastard neurochipped her. He said, we already know. Tape and audio. Emergency room. March 13, 21, 2:53 p.m. I have something in me. A Canton officer walked by. His phone dinged. 12/21/18. I was stabbed in the neck at the refrigerator. Foggy, hazy, dark, bright light, felt myself cry. Woke up 6 hours later in bed, where my head was rounded, stented, and hair's missing. And the skin feels funny. And I got a 4-inch bruise with finger marks embedded in my ribs. And there's a steak knife with bone and flesh in the sink. And there's another man's come on the dresser, and he's screaming at me. You had an affair. Well, they had drugged me out. I couldn't even think. I ended up going back to bed. My head was pounding. I didn't know what happened. Okay? Within a few days at Walmart, by the TVs, they still have a bunch of men with cell phones. We implanted a neurochip. We all and I thought, why you bastards? You're like, I may have a debt, and the skin feels funny and it hurts. But you didn't do that. They did. March 3rd, March of 21, I also went back to
Mercy Medical, they did a CAT scan. My diet hurt like hell. You can see they got the wires crack. You can also see a lead down my neck into a satchel. Some guy had made a stupid comment about a mom. Why do I have a satchel on my chest? And why was I out for 6 hours? I have to have something with me. I can't an officer walk by and his phone dinged and read off my information. If you want to see more people play with the chip, I started CSE in November, December 19 by the front counter. I was waiting on this one guy, and this mean to think people are idiots, but this guy was loud and rude. And they're looking at the cell phone, and they looked at me. She thinks he's an idiot. Come on, let's go. Playing with the chip. It's used in paralyzed patients since 16. Paralyzed man plays computer with brain chip, and paralyzed man plays video game with brain chip. Comes with a cell phone. It's medical field stuff. But it's a legal strategy for the truth. U.S. Supreme Court 18-10134. Does nobody use Google? I may not be the smartest cookie in the bunch, but it takes me a hot minute to look it up. There's a 20-year sentence with it. I used to do title loans, and I did retail banking. Finding information is second nature. So, yeah. Somebody needs, and you know what's scary? That wasn't the FBI. What if they touched the hospital's computers and stole everybody's information and sold it online? The FBI needs to pull up in hospital states. You know, I was in there. I went to use the bathroom, and that weird Eric's stalking me. They're looking for and talking to a nurse and badmouth me, and security calls me bad names. And they're walking by. I reported them, and they said they'd take care of their staff. There's a man also outside my room. We didn't know her ex was part of that shooting. Bullshit. The undercover police, African-American man with dreadlocks, at the long register of Walmart. We stayed out of the gunshot line because Dave's girlfriend's prettier, and about 30-40 men that were hired to protect me. How they were leaving me in high danger. And they stayed out of it. I'd like to know what happened that night. There's a police report and sirens in the distance, and when I tried to help some lady that said her husband got killed on that night, they raped and tortured me and put it on the internet. I had a nightmare of that again last night. I still do at times. I had nightmares for 9 months coming up out of my sleep, begging God to help me. Yeah. Do you ever get over it? And then they show it to people. There's even revenge porn. And what is happening down here is horrifying. And people call these people bastards. And it's public knowledge. And that's where it's ridiculous. And they run around like they can get in trouble, like they can look at their legal surveillance. They lose their badge. And they go to jail, like Officer Reinhardt said. It'd be illegal for us to look or listen. It's a legal search and seizure. Nobody should ever be stupid enough to ever say they stalked somebody in their home and had a fake court order and that they used drugs on somebody. These people are that stupid. And then saying I got charges that I've never been talked to. There's no charges, and the police aren't interested in me. And trust me, they all know what it's photoshopped. I have been police and investigators following me around. They're hearing all these people. They told Marge this year, Shine Salon, they could never look or listen to these people's tape. They told the hairdresser there they knew everything was photoshopped. I need help, And somebody needs to find out what that Sactal is in my chest. And I want that chip removed. They're just trying to kill me over time with it. They want me to die for Dave's girlfriend. And they're making money off of terrorism. I need help. They're planning on processing more and selling more logins of killing people. They announced it at Tater's office May 5th, 22 at noon, where it was with the computers that showed up. I don't know. I went to remail everything into the FBI again. And the one guy, he said, you have so many harassers around you. Why don't they put you in the witness protection program? And what is stupid? No, I mean, it's flat out. Do you know how many people told on them for that shower scene? It's ridiculous. And they have drug confessions. And some lady didn't even see it. That's when a lot of people gave up. When they did, where I had bruises and my head was swimming. I couldn't even remember to tell Will that guy said he was FBI the night before. I couldn't remember the attempted kidnapping, the attempted carjacking. You find him at Huntington Bank. I could only remember the what a shame guy. Because the amnesia drove me. That's why my head was spinning. That's bitch. Scary bitch that they're that extreme and that dangerous. It's a terrorist group. Only terrorist occults and mobs do this. This is not the law. The real police in uniform, honey, don't worry about the little thing. We could never look or listen. And trust me, they already know about the shower scene and the drug confession. It's not funny. And then having these low lives, like some lady said outside Walmart. Yesterday, I can't even believe anybody would say a word to her. But they're that stupid to do it. And they have people make fun of me for their crimes because they're two idiots not to be saying, oh my God, get the FBI down here. Oh my God, get the police, arrest these people. They're so stupid. They're going to say they have a quarter and watch them. They don't have a right to privacy. They're going to say they don't have a right to remain quiet. They can drug them up and they didn't see anybody and wake up with a bruise or take a drink out of something, feel dizzy, and hours pass. Do you think where the time go? And now they got a sodium pentothal report. And you either give up everything in life or we'll put you in jail. Give your car, your wife, your jewelry. We have now charges against you. You never even talked to anybody. We put a shower scene in the other room. Everybody knows it. But if you don't give up everything, we'll put you in jail. It's called 911. FBI submitted to him. They're insane. And these people falling for it, they're going to tell them their kids can't go to school anymore, too. They can't have a cell phone. They can't read a book. They can't watch TV because there's no freedom of press. They can't go to church. There's no freedom of religion. There's no freedom of speech. There's no freedom to vote. We no longer have the right to remain silent, legal representation, a right to a fair court trial, bail and bond. And we don't have a right to privacy. That nobody's allowed in your home but those special protective life cases. Because per Department of Justice, for every civil right broke is 1 to 10 years. And it's illegal search and seizure until will agree to protect me, and that cop talked to Dave. And it's not impossible. And they got Dave holding me down. I love you. I love her more. I got a man to slit your throat, stab you in the heart. You'll bleed out. I have a man to shoot you if you run. They have Terry on the phone of the church is taking up $25,000 to have me murdered because Ron wants me to. So they got, well, this kid had nothing to do with that death. And they also have Dave with Jack and him have plans and smart. I wouldn't give up everything willingly. Like my security guard said, that's the case. This is just premeditation obstruction to justice and selling terrorism online. There's nothing. I talked to a guy that used to be a prosecutor. I was telling him how I'd never been questioned with Miranda rights. never subpoenaed to a prosecutor's office with an attorney, never took an attorney in front of a judge for him to place charges against me, and then bailed her out or bond or whatever, and never been found guilty. I said, there's nothing against me. He started giggling. He said, you're absolutely right. There's nothing against you, nor can they enter it. I'll be like the fat bitch that was dating Dave too, was bragging she was going to steal everything I have in life. Came down May 25th, 21, the Sunday after. Yelled at the goons from Ravenna, are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. They said, well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. And I'm going to be like, are you crazy? You can't enter illegal surveillance either. It's a legal search and seizure. And nobody wants to hear about your drug confessions and your shower scene in the other room.